Right. I'm going to start with a question. If any of you, and I pray not, were to experience a hate crime, or know somebody who's experiencing hate crime, what would you do? I'm putting you on the spot. Would you know where to direct the individual? Would you know where to access support? Bear that in mind, and if there's one message I would like you to take away today, is not to remain silent about hate crime. To report, report, and report. Hate crime, it shatters lives, it destroys communities, it destroys economies, and we only have to look around, see what is happening globally, sometimes nationally, to really fully understand the evil that happens when hate is allowed to thrive. So, what is hate crime? Just some context in terms of the local picture. We're a very diverse borough, and that there is beauty in that. Our diversity is our strength. We have one of the most concentrated Muslim and Bangladeshi population, consistently one of the highest levels of hate crime reporting in London. But also, for that reason, tackling hate crime is a priority for us in the council. Hate crime is a trigger crime in that things happening globally, nationally, they tend to replicate themselves in our borough, but also in the UK in general. And the war in the Middle East, no doubt, has resulted in increase of hate crimes, but particularly Islamophobia and anti-Semitism as well. I don't know if you recognize any of those pictures, but it's a variety of pictures. People from different backgrounds, but also young people, majority of them are young people. We have a young schoolgirl being attacked in a school in Surrey. We have a young girl who lost her life because of hate crime. We have a Chinese young man, a student, who was attacked during COVID. We have, of course, in our own borough, Outer Bali, a young man who lost his life in 1978 in a racist attack, just across the road from here, And St. Mary's Park was renamed in his memory. And very soon, next week, we will have his anniversary. A young man, no other reason than his race. And so on and so forth. You have Johnny Delaney, a young traveller boy who lost his life. Stephen Lawrence, Saskia Jones, and Jack Merritt, and so on. The point is, hate crime cuts across all boundaries. It really does. All cultures. Anyone can perpetrate hate crime. Anyone can be a victim of hate crime. You have in the corner a Muslim family in Canada. In one instant, 4 generations were wiped out in Canada in a race crime. So, what is hate crime? The definition is that any criminal offense which the victim or any other person perceives, to be motivated by a prejudice or hostility based on a personal characteristic. And it breaks it down nicely. Race or ethnicity, religion, faith, belief, or no belief, disability, sexual orientation, or transgender identity. In Tower Hamlets, we've always included age and gender in our definition, in recognition that we have a very young population, but also the gender because of the disproportionate My colleague spoke about violence against women and girls. So we've always had that definition in our agenda. The impact of hate crime. This is where, right. Emotional effects. Yeah, it can have psychological effects, physiological effects, yeah. Physical harm or injury, effect on the family and friends of the victim, effects on the wider community, financial effects, but above all, hate crime affects the victim and the community around us. It is an attack on who we are, our identity. So it questions our rights to live, work, travel in a community or area. I love this pyramid of hate, and the point is that it starts with prejudice. We all have our prejudice, but when we allow that to impact on somebody's life, yeah, that becomes, yeah, not only devastating, but also it leads to discrimination. And if it's not challenged at the lower level, it can very, quickly escalate to genocide, which we look back in history, but you don't even have to go back in history to see what is happening, to realize the evil when hate is allowed to thrive. So what are we as a council doing to tackle hate crime? Well, we have a hate crime team. My colleague and I are from the same team. Shanaz is on the domestic abuse side, I'm on the hate crime side. But we provide advice and support to individuals and professionals experiencing hate crime. We have a monthly incident panel. So if you know anybody who is experiencing hate crime, you can refer them to that panel where different professionals, the police, legal, housing, can come together to look at their individual cases, but more importantly, to try to find a solution for the victim. We have a No Place for Hate forum, the forum where we look at strategies to address hate crime. What is working for us as a borough? What is working for the community that we serve? And that's a quarterly forum. And we also look at what's not working, what can we do better? Yeah. Then we have, we also, from that forum, we have a delivery plan where different agencies actually tell us what they're going to do, whether it's schools, whether it's health, whether it's the youth service. Yeah? How am I doing for time? It's okay. Sorry. But also, we have a No Place for Hate campaign. If you see our banner over there, and basically our No Place for Hate campaign, the message is simple. We do not want hate in Tower Hamlets. If you're coming and you're coming peacefully, that's fine. But we do not want hate in our borough. We do not want division in our borough. So our campaign is over there, and we have leaflets, and you can take away with you after. And what we also do as part of the campaign is we mark notable dates in the hate crime calendar. So, for example, we want to raise awareness on things like Srebrenica Memorial, Islamophobia Awareness Month. We have HMD, Holocaust Memorial Month, and so on and so forth. But also, we do have a No Place for Hate Champions project where we recruit local people to train them so they can act as ambassadors in their community in terms of raising awareness on hate crime. And we offer training. So please, if you want training on hate crime, please invite us to your mosques, to your organizations. It is free training. We don't charge at all. But also, we'd like to work in partnership with you to raise awareness on hate crime. And then, of course, we do outreach work. It may well be that you want to invite us to hold a stall. We are more than willing to work with you in the capacity that suits you. And of course, we have the wider partnership work, the tension monitoring group that looks at any incident with the potential of causing community unrest. We want to make sure it doesn't escalate, and so on and so forth. We have an equalities team, and then of course we have the Tower Hamlets Interfaith Forum. And if you're not already part of that forum, I would advise that you please find out more about the work of the Interfaith Forum. And Sophia Alam from the Mariam Women's Centre is actually the chair of the Interfaith Forum and also chair of our No Place for Hate Forum. And of course, I'm limited by time, but just how to report hate crime. It's always 999 in an emergency, 101 for non-emergency. And on the train, there's telephone numbers there, or online to the Metropolitan Police. And of course, you can always report to your housing provider, your landlord, if you don't feel confident going to the police. And there are specialist organisations as well. And we do have a hate crime manual that has a directory at the end. There is support available for victims through the Catch Alliance. Catch is made up of different organisations. So you have Tell Mama if somebody's experiencing Islamophobic hate crime, and we also have the other groups for race hate crime, and so on and so forth. And the specialist and support services, Tell Mama, Real for people experiencing disability hate crime. I think I'm running over time, but you will be able to find more about the support services, and we will leave our colleagues here with the information. And there's, of course, victim support. But what can we do? What can you do in terms of hate crime? And one of the key messages, really, please get to know the support services for victims of hate crime. It may be somebody in your congregation. It may be your next door neighbour. Please do get to know the services available. And do make referrals to our hate incident panel. We do look at those cases one by one every month. But also, consider becoming a hate crime champion, where you can get free training, but you can cascade that training to members of the community as well. Okay. And you can invite us, as I said before, to your events. We'll be more than happy to support, to be able to work in partnership with you. And then just promote awareness on hate crime and advise people, first of all, how to recognize hate crime. And we do training where we go into depth what hate crime is about as well. And also, we often say, challenge discriminatory behavior. If somebody was was being, let's say, discriminatory, what do we do about it? Can we challenge it safely, if it's safe for us to do so? But we also need to look at our own prejudices. What is my prejudice? How does that impact on the community that I serve? What else can we do? Do your congregation know how to report hate crime? If they were to come to you and say, I'm experiencing hate crime, would you know where to direct them? And also, include hate crime support during, it could be Friday prayers, during sermons, just to let them know that this is available for them in terms of support. And please support some of the events we have in our borough to commemorate events like Al-Tab Ali Day. Yesterday we had the Acts of Remembrance to remember victims who were killed many years back. So please join in. And of course, we have the UN Day for the Elimination of Racial Discrimination, 21st of March every year. So please do support and raise awareness when those opportunities do arise. And of course, what I was going to say, please visit our stall. We are more than happy to come and provide training to your organization. this few minutes here doesn't do justice to the issue of hate crime, but please invite us and we'd be more than happy to come along. I wanted to end with a quote, if I may, and I think this encapsulates the spirit of our No Place for Hate campaign, which is a quote by Nelson Mandela. And it says that no one is born hating another person because of their color, of their skin, or their background, or their religion. People learn to hate. And if they can learn to hate, they can be taught to love, because love comes more naturally to the human heart than its opposite. Thank you.